Hey everyone, Ryan here, M&R Productions, and we have been talking about LEGO Star Wars Summer 2022 set rumors for months here on the channel. However, just today, thanks to promo bricks, practically everything is confirmed. Well, at least as close to confirmed as we can get to LEGO actually revealing it themselves, which probably isn't going to happen for a couple more months. As far as I can tell, they've probably seen pictures of the sets, and with that, they have provided extremely detailed descriptions of those sets. So in today's video, we're going to be going over every single confirmed set for the summer wave, as well as what it's going to look like and the exact minifigures it's going to include. Yeah, Phase 2 Cody, it's coming, it's happening, it's very exciting, right? And if you're excited, make sure you hit the like button, but let's get into it. Starting with set number 75323, we have the Justifier with 1,022 pieces, 5 minifigs, and a price tag of $160 US. It is said to be a very massive ship for the set, and is on par with the Playscale Millennium Falcon or the Imperial Light Cruiser from last year in terms of scale, which to me is rather shocking. I have said this in all of my rumor videos so far, that I just cannot fathom a $160 Justifier. I took a look at the Republic Bricks one a while back, and I would imagine that it is somewhat in that scale, probably even larger. But yeah, the Justifier for $160 to me is just crazy, and it's one that I'm really excited to actually see myself. It has the large tail wing and can also be brought into the landing position. This was a no-brainer function that would have to be in the set, of course. It's basically got this counterweight looking thing that moves up and down depending on which flight mode or landing mode you are in with the Justifier. The set is also said to come with various cargo and tools, and with that we go to the minifigs with Cad Bane, his droid Toto 360, and Omega. Those to me were no-brainers that absolutely had to be in the set. Surprisingly, no Kaminoan. I kind of assumed there would be a Kaminoan in this set and that they would reuse the mold that we might end up seeing in the Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter. We'll talk about that in a minute, but yeah, just no Kaminoan in the set. It's going to have Hunter and Fennec Shand. The Hunter might have a new helmet if they update him to the new clone helmet, which we'll talk about when we get to the ATTE, so just keep that in mind. And then Fennec Shand appearing again in another $160 set. I assume it would come with her helmet, but we don't know for sure. Set number 75332 is the ATST 4 Plus edition at $30 with just 87 pieces. A figure selection that should surprise absolutely no one here, with Wicket, a Scout Trooper, and an ATST driver. I'm actually pretty happy with 3 minifigs in this set. Kind of thought they might just only include 2. As I had hypothesized in my last rumor video, it is now confirmed that it does use the legs from the Buzz Lightyear Cyclops chase set. I assume they'll just flip them around and maybe add some pieces onto the bottom to make the feet look better, but very similar look in light gray. And what surprised me here is this is actually going to be a little bit more than just an ATST, because it's going to include a Imperial speeder bike and a small tree with a catapult. So this actually seems like a really great playset for kids. And the Imperial speeder bike, we've had, I believe, a junior speeder bike before with the Snow Speeder set, so I would expect more or less a color swap of that into a more brown and gray design instead of the white and gray design. Now our next set is 75333, Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter, now confirmed, obviously, or at least close to confirmed, right? And this is going to be the only 20th anniversary Star Wars Episode 2 set as far as we can tell at this point, which is really unfortunate. I hope at the very least they put the 20th anniversary Attack of the Clones logo on the box for this one. That would be nice, you know? It's on the stuff for Hot Toys and all that kind of stuff, like the companies that tend to do the cooler stuff for Star Wars. It's a small thing that doesn't actually affect the product in the box, but it would still be cool to have on there. It is said the Starfighter looks very similar to the version that we saw in 2017 in the Jedi Starfighter with Hyperdrive set. I would assume that it has a slightly different design underneath where it doesn't need to attach to the Hyperdrive though. It does say it comes with a small detachable satellite dish to faithfully recreate one of the scenes from the film where he has a satellite dish on it, so that is actually a pretty cool detail that I hadn't thought of. I didn't say it up front, but it'll have 282 pieces for $30, and the 3 minifigs are going to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi. He'll have a hood, and obviously his robes will be printed on. We'll have R4P17, and assuming that they carry over what they did with R2-D2 for the original trilogy sets, the prequel R4 minifigure will also get a back print for the first time, so that'll be pretty cool to see. And then for the first time ever, finally, a Kaminoan. Like I said, very surprising they didn't also use this mold for the Bad Batch set, but Taun We should be making her way into the Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter set. And for the Kaminoan, it is said to be a actual Lego minifigure, not like a mini doll or a special mold for the body and everything, just using a minifigure skirt piece, kind of like the one from Princess Leia, and a new combo piece designed for the long neck and head of the Kaminoan. It's said to be dual molded and can be attached to the torso like a normal head. So that is pretty cool. It seems like they went as close to the normal Lego minifigure as possible and didn't go the mini doll route, which Would have been kind of cool to get a Lego Star Wars mini doll, but nonetheless, hopefully this ends up looking really good. Now, while our last set included Obi-Wan, it wasn't from the new Kenobi show. Our next set is set 75334, Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader. With 408 pieces, this one will retail for $50 and include 4 minifigs. Now, this set seems like it's going to be a bit different than I was expecting. They claim that this set is a roughly 30 stud wide diorama set with mostly gray bricks and lots of trans orange cheese wedges, which makes it seem like it's on Mustafar or something like Mustafar, so that's pretty cool, maybe near Darth Vader's castle. Now, while they say it's a diorama set, they say it's specifically not one of the new quote diorama sets. It does say there is more to the set, including a small yellow pallet truck used to transport lava and a brown brick structure that could be a smelting furnace. The pallet truck can be blasted out as a play function. There are 2 integrated turntables in the bottom of the diorama to simulate Obi-Wan and Darth Vader's fight, and the diorama can be opened in the middle to reveal a lava flow. So this seems a little bit less like the quote sets and a little bit more play focused, so I would expect this not to be an 18+ set. I would expect this to be, an 8 or 9+ set, and very similar, kind of like the old $20 dual set where it can split open, of course, so that's kind of cool. The 4 minifigs in the set, though, are going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, who has a printed cloak and no cape. The figure also gets a new mullet hairpiece. That sounds kind of cool. A new Obi-Wan hairpiece will be fun. It also says Darth Vader is going to be included, and then 2 newer characters, an Imperial Officer Tala Durith and Ned B, who is a droid from the first trailer, apparently. Set 75335 BD1 from Jedi Fallen Order, something that the LEGO Star Wars designers a few years ago said that they wouldn't do, so it's kind of surprising here. But this should be an 18+ set and fit right into the buildable characters that they've been doing for the past 5 or 6 years at this point. And this set will have 1,062 pieces, retailing for $100. It is said the build looks like BD1 with his typical white skin and red markings. The legs are posable and the head can be moved up, down, left, and right. It also says on the droid's head there's a hidden compartment that holds 3 style containers in the game's life potions. Not exactly sure what that entails, but sounds like a cool little thing in there. As a buildable character, the set does include like a UCS style plaque, but not exactly the same as the UCS ones, with information about the character. And then the BD1 minifigure, which we also saw in Mando's Naboo Starfighter, that releases on June 1st, so it'll be the same mold, but probably just with the red print instead of the blue print. This next one is another Kenobi set, and it's very hype, and before we actually get into our second Kenobi set, I should mention that, as you know, because I talk about it on the channel, they are supposed to match the stripe color on the boxes to the particular property. And so with the Kenobi sets, I've kind of been wondering what color that would end up being. And thanks to a Black Series leak, kind of, because Ewan McGregor himself showed it, I don't know, he's probably allowed to show it, it's going to be kind of a light blue color for the Kenobi shows. LEGO is copying what the Black Series does color-wise, except for the times that they mess up and don't copy them properly. But that would only ever happen on a prequel set. But anyway, set 75336 is said to be the Inquisitor Scythe Transport. Love the name. It has 924 pieces, 4 minifigs, and it's going to be $100. This is the one that we saw the concept art quite a while back, and of course we now see in the more modern trailers, and it looks really, really cool to me. Now, it said that one of the minifigs is going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, who is apparently different than the one that we see in the, we'll just call it Dual Mustafar set. The other 3 minifigures are Inquisitors, so no like random throw-in Stormtrooper minifigure, just all straight up named characters, which is great here. We have the Grand Inquisitor with printed chest plate and cape. I can only assume they're bringing over the same old mold from the last one. I don't know why they would change it, but that's what I'm assuming here. And then we have third sister Reva with cape and fifth brother with chest plate. So very cool potential characters here, or essentially confirmed characters for this set. Obviously, the 3 that we see here in this picture plus an Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's a pretty solid minifigure selection for a $100 LEGO Star Wars ship set. They didn't really add any detail about what the ship does as a LEGO set, but I can only assume there will be spring-loaded shooters and the wings on the side can fold down. Maybe it'll have landing gear on the bottom, but I'm kind of like, they don't usually do landing gear on all the sets, so probably no landing gear. And that brings us to set 75337, the most hyped up set of the summer wave by far, in my opinion, the ATTE. Another set that also, in my opinion, I think is the direct result of fan demand here, with a Phase 2 Cody minifigure, obviously from my Gunship Gang promotion and all that jazz. I think it basically forced LEGO to finally make a Phase 2 Cody minifigure, and this is pretty great. I can't believe they actually did this as well. So Phase 2 Cody is going to be making his way into this ATT. We'll talk a little bit more about him in a second, though. I just want to give you the details on the set. It'll have 1,082 pieces for $140. 8 minifigs. Now, they say that it looks similar to the 2013 ATTE, both in size and design. It was a very good looking ATTE, so I have no problem with the design of it. However, the size of it, I was hoping this one would be a little bit bigger for the $50 extra. Obviously, you're getting some better figures here, but man, that ship for $140 instead of $90, I don't know if I can stomach that. So we'll see. We'll see what that ends up looking like. But they say the most notable changes design-wise or construction-wise are with the construction of the walker's legs and feet. It says, for example, they got rid of the satellite dish design. I guess that's what they use on the side, right? And then they used the round plates, so maybe a little bit of a flatter look on the side. And they say, in general, the feet look smaller and the legs look a little bit shorter, giving the walker a slightly more powerful, massive look overall. So that actually sounds pretty cool. If they've changed up the actual stance of this thing a little bit, I think that'll go a long way to differentiate it from at least the 2013 and 2008 ATT. The 2003 ATT actually looked pretty substantially different with a very low to the ground stance. I'm using Google Translate for this, but the next sentence says, the interior of the walker can be played with thanks to the interior, which I think is funny. But yeah, there will obviously be an interior to the ATTE. I am hoping it includes, it doesn't say, but the front and back section to be accessible and usable. So we'll find out soon enough, but it has an interior, which we already could have assumed. Minifigure-wise is where things get crazy with this. For years, I have made a very big point that I think it's rather dumb that LEGO Star Wars Clone Trooper sets don't come with LEGO Star Wars Clone Troopers a lot. Like, I just never understood why in 2013, when we got an ATT, we literally got more battle droids in a big clone set than we got Clone Troopers. That just shouldn't be happening. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody actually wants more battle droids than Clone Troopers in a Clone Trooper set. Like, it just and obviously I've seen some of the reaction early on from people commenting, this is the way people have wanted it to be. And I think we've seen them start to come around on it with a set like the Republic Fighter Tank, where you're getting 3 Clone Troopers, 2 battle droids, and Mace Windu, instead of, in the years past, you would get 1 Jedi, 1 Clone Trooper, and 2 battle droids. It's like, this is a Clone Trooper set. Why does it have more Clone Troopers than battle droids? And I think they've either, they've been watching videos, reading comments, or whatever that, maybe I've been putting out a lot, and finally that has swayed what they are doing here, which is great, because now I think it's the right way. So we've got 3 battle droids in the set. Unfortunately, no super battle droids. Rather disappointing. Super battle droids have not been around since like 2015, so we'll see if they ever come back at this point. Not really sure what's happened there. And then the big one here for everyone is going to be Phase 2 Cody, and we have some details on how he is going to work. It says that the figure is highly detailed and has leg printing and feet printing, and surprisingly to me, the hips are printed, so they're not using a plain white hip piece for Phase 2 Cody, which is awesome, because like I feel like they should be printing the hips on these LEGO Star Wars Clone Troopers. I feel like the big blank white spot just isn't the optimal look for sure. It says Commander Cody has his matching orange visor, and that they have designed a new Phase 2 helmet for the Clone Troopers in this set, which is great. LEGO's biggest mistake with Clone Troopers over the last decade was in 2013 when they brought in, Phase 2 Rex and the new Phase 2 Troopers, and they didn't include an accessory slot for any of the Clone Troopers. Like this, when they came out with this, surprisingly too, with Phase 2 Rex always had something attached to his helmet. So even when that came out, it didn't make a ton of sense not to have an attachment slot in there. So getting an attachment slot for the Clone Trooper helmets here is going to be fantastic. Unfortunately, they do say Commander Cody's jetpack is not included in the set as a built part, but they do say it's likely printed onto the back. Now, the 3 battle droids in Phase 2 Cody are only 4 of the 8 figures. There's still 4 more, 3 of which apparently are going to be 2 12th Troopers. That's crazy! 3 regular Clone Troopers in a big Clone Trooper set? I mean, what world are we living in? This is bizarro. It's like in 2003, they had 4 regular Clone Troopers in the ATTE, and that was it. Like, those were your figures. This is better than that. We're finally seeing an improvement. This is great. It's taken so long to get to this point. So 3 of those figures being regular 2 12th Troopers, and like I said, I'm using Google Translate for this. It says the legs, feet, and hip are oppressed. That's the word it says. I assume it means printed, so maybe the hips will actually be printed and not just blank white like we've seen on the 501st and 187th Legion. So hopefully, maybe, we'll see. And then honestly, the most surprising inclusion here, not an Obi-Wan Kenobi, but a revised clone gunner in the set. So basically a Phase 2 clone gunner like we saw in the 2017 Republic Fighter Tank. that's pretty cool. I don't know if he was actually in episode 3 or not, to be honest, but still, cool figure nonetheless. And then I'm going to continue to say it here because I think it's important. My biggest complaint with the set is that they're including a spider droid instead of a crab droid. If this is an episode 3 ATTE, then why are we not using this opportunity to get our first and perhaps only ever crab droid we would ever get? I mean, yeah, it just doesn't make a ton of sense to me why we don't have a LEGO Star Wars crab droid to this point. Maybe it could be one of those things they do as a foil pack build. I know they've done things like the Geonosius animals as a foil pack build, so something like that might work. Just, you know, kind of trying to nudge them there. So we'll see. So spider droid instead of crab droid kind of sucks, to be honest. That's probably my least favorite aspect of the set by pretty large margin. Set 75338 is said to be from the Cassian Andor show, and it says it is the Andor starship and speeder bike. So unfortunately, no U-Wing. And it's entirely possible in 2023 we see a U-Wing, obviously. But as of now, no U-Wing in 2022. So for those of you that have been holding off on a U-Wing purchase, the time might be now if you want the one from 2016. It is said that the spaceship is vaguely reminiscent of the HH-87 Starhopper set, which was a Clone Wars set from like 2013. They say the ship is all gray with yellow detailing represented by stickers, and that there's also a sand-colored speeder bike. Not a whole ton of detail on the ship and bike, but there you have it. Now, we don't have a piece count on this one, but it's going to include 3 minifigs for $70, and one of the minifigs is going to be in all blue with a blue hat, very reminiscent of a Bespin guard. The second character with a beige coat and blonde hairstyle with a receding hairline. Looks like Tobias Beckett, apparently, maybe not exactly him. And then the third minifigure they say they believe is Cassian Andor, that has a brown hairdo with full beard and serious black hairpiece. And this set actually, unlike the rest of them, won't be releasing on August 1st. This one is actually coming a little bit later, so I would expect a September 1st or October 1st release date for the Andor starship and speeder bike, but obviously nothing confirmed as far as release date goes with that. So that is all the brand new confirmed information for LEGO Star Wars Summer 2022 sets. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Again, big thanks to Promo Bricks for dropping all this information today. If you guys enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe so you don't miss the latest LEGO Star Wars news and information. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.